What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The mess you see on the bench here is a WPL D12. We've got it torn right apart right now. We were replacing the stock 260 motor and plastic gearbox with an upgraded 370 motor all metal gearbox. We'll show you a screenshot of what the plastic one looked like inside, all plastic gears, and I'll show you a screenshot of what the upgraded one looked like, all metal gears on the inside. Bit of an issue though. I had it all back together and I made a big error. I took a LiPo battery, which I do often, especially when you have these connectors. I'll use a LiPo battery instead of the lithium ion batteries. Stock battery come with it, and they'll plug right in, but what you got to do is be careful of which way you're plugging it. And I accidentally plugged it in backwards even though the switch was off. I fried the board. Check it out right there. Disintegrated the top of that chip there. It is done. So, not the end of the world. I was planning on upgrading all the electronics anyways, and that's what I'm forced to do now. The only thing that hasn't arrived that I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for an upgraded servo. This one's got plastic gears. I'm waiting for one that has all metal gears. But besides that, I'm ready to go. We're going to throw a new ESC in. I'm just going to use one of these cheapo 20 amp ESCs. I use them on a lot of projects. They work great. If that one happens to not work out, I do have a larger ESC right here that we'll figure out and use, but I'm pretty sure this little guy is going to work. Like I said, I've used them in the past. No issues at all. And we're going to be running, obviously, a new receiver in there. We're going to be running the Radiolink R6FG version 3. This has the built-in gyro, which will work out great with a D12. And the transmitter that I'm pairing with that is the RC4GS. You've seen that on the channel recently. I'll throw a link up. Awesome transmitter. I'm going to be able to dial in the settings just the way I like them to have this thing as an awesome little drifter. So that's what I'm doing now, guys. I've already started on it. I've taken the switch out. I've taken the battery cable out. We're going to be relocating the battery, I think. I have some ideas what I want to do with the battery. Hopefully they'll work. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure that I want to use the included battery tray there. It's a little small. I think we're going to relocate the battery into the box. But we'll see once I get to that and figure that out. For right now, I'm going to start putting this together, starting with the ESC. It's going to go up front here. All right, so ESC is mounted now, guys. Worked out pretty good, I think. The switch actually mounts in the stock location with the stock screws there. So there's our switch. Awesome. I did use a white grommet right there to act as a riser and glued that down to the chassis, and then double-sided foam tape the ESC on top of that. That allows some airflow in there. That keeps it away from any moving parts like the A-arms there, and doesn't cover up any of the screws that I may need to get at for any modifications or repairs. So that's why I did it like that. Now we're going to get the motor back in for a second time. I'm going to have to solder on a JST connection that correspond with the motor connection there. So what we're going to do is we'll solder that on. We'll route these wires probably around here, leave a little length on them, tuck them in nicely. So the project continues here. We've got the motor mounted now. We've got the wiring all nice tucked in there, nice and neat. Works out great. I think the next thing we're going to do here is, since I haven't figured out where I'm going to put the receiver yet, I don't want to be held up here, but I have figured out what I want to do with the battery. I think we're going to be mounting the battery, relocating it into the box. We're going to be using obviously a bigger battery, or have the option of using bigger batteries than the stock ones here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple slices, a couple slots through the box, and we'll run a strap through there. We'll feed a strap through there. That way we can just strap in any battery we want to. I believe I'm going to use a Dean's connector though to power it up. That way I'll have more options for bigger batteries that way, and a lot of my batteries do have the Dean's connector. And if we do want to use one with a JST, I can just make a little adapter or a pigtail to go from Dean's to JST. So I think that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to figure that out where I'm going to mount it. We're going to run that strap through there. And hopefully by that time, once that's done, I'll figure out where that receiver is going. Battery is mounted. Check out where I put the connector. Thought that was kind of a cool spot for it. Permanent mount. We just have to come down, plug in. Don't have any loose wires there. I've got the JST on the underside there. That's going to plug into the ESC right there. So we're moving along. I even threw the receiver in. I just mounted it with Velcro. It's easily accessible that way. I can get at it if I need to pull it out. I'm going to now run the servo into it, and we'll run the ESC to it, and then we're going to fire this thing up and see if this is going to work out for us. So I'm going to get it back together, guys. We're going to get everything plugged in, and we'll fire it up and see what she does. Alright guys, I'm pretty happy with how smooth everything went here. Had no hiccups, no issues along the way with these upgrades here. Check it out. I've got the Radiolink R6FG receiver in there. Like I said, we're going to be running the RC4GS version 2 transmitter. I've got to get that all paired up. I love how I have the Dean's connector mounted there. Let's see if you can see that up close. So it's a stationary connection. We can plug it in like that. We've got the strap in. We're good there. I am going to turn it on right now. And I'm going to have to get the gyro functioning on this. So to do that, on the Radiolink here, on the R6FG, you got to triple click it. The little button on the side. Then that red light, as you can see, comes on. And that means now it's in gyro mode. I'm going to turn on the transmitter. And there we go. I can control the sensitivity with the dial on the side here. We're going to have to throw the GPS on here, and we're definitely going to be going a lot quicker than the 16.6 kilometers per hour that the stock setup got. Now just to review what I have and what I've done. So started off, we have the full metal rear axle there, metal drive shaft. We now have a 370 motor in there with metal gearbox, all metal gears. We're running a larger battery on this now. I believe it's a 2500 milliamp hour battery. The information's on the other side. We've got the Radiolink R6FG version 3, and that's paired with the RC4GS version 2 radio. I'm pretty happy with this setup. The only thing left at the moment is I have a new servo on the way, full metal gears to replace the stock servo. Once that's in, I'll change that out, and I'm going to have some fun with this thing. I think I'm going to be looking at getting some drift tires and maybe a body kit on this next. But for now, guys, let's take it outside and let's see how it does. We're going to get it down there first, and we're going to run it back here. We'll get it down there a little ways. And one thing that is awesome by using the Radiolink system here is my range. Here we go, guys. Let's do it. Holy smokes. First run, guys, that was pretty quick. First pass. Okay, guys, we went from under 17 kilometers an hour. We are now hitting, let me get it up here so we can all see it, 28.4 kilometers per hour. Wow. And let's see if we can get anything else out of it. That was pretty good. I'm gonna get it down there, and then we're gonna go full throttle with it. All right, let's turn it around. Here we go, guys. Get a little closer to me on this side. It's full throttle. She's moving nice and straight. Gonna get anything else out of that? Oh, we did. We did. Guys, check it out. 29.1 kilometers per hour on that run. I'm gonna send it one more time. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys, we did get a little bit more there. 29.2 kilometers per hour. I'd like to run it one more time. All right, guys, last run there, guys. We flipped it. I think we can get it back together though. I don't think we broke anything. Check that out, man. Wheel went rolling off there. This side flipped out. These are also some upgraded parts that are on the way. We flipped it good, and there's no damage other than a little bit of damage to the corner there. Not a big deal. Anyways, we did get a little more out of it. 29.7 kilometers per hour, guys. Wow, awesome. Very impressed with the 370 motor there. A lot of power for this guy. Anyways, guys, we'll see you back in the shop shortly. All right, guys, we're back in with the WPL D12 from its max speed run after adding the 370 motor and upgrading the electronics. We were able to get 29.7 kilometers per hour on that run compared to the initial speed run I did about a month ago with the stock setup. That was 16.6 kilometers per hour. That's a pretty big difference. As you saw, we had a pretty good wipeout at the end there. Nothing broke. We were able to get it all back together right there on the road, actually. And the reason that happened was my steering rates on the Radiolink RC4GS were too high. I should have set those a little bit lower. That was the first time I actually used that transmitter with the D12 here, was on that speed run. So it wasn't really set up the way it should be. But such is life. We're able to run again with it. Nothing damaged, like I said, so no worries. Anyways, guys, we're going to leave it at that for right now. We do have some more parts, upgraded parts on the way. Once they get here, we'll be taking a look at those with the WPL D12. But until then, guys, you like this video, make sure you get a big thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button before you head out. And remember, don't be a stranger. We'll see you on the next one. See ya!